All right, let's begin. If people can join in the join later, that's fine because it's the weekend. And we want to get started because I also want to go somewhere. Okay. All right. So starting a new business in Canada. This is especially helpful for people that has never opened a business or pretty new to it. If you already have a business, you still might find some value in it. We'll be covering some topics that we can see in the screen here. So, type of business structure, the step-by-step process, how to actually go about business registration, some legal and tax considerations when you're opening a business, financing your new business, and some resources for a new business. So this is specifically made for Canadian businesses and for Ontario because we practice in Ontario only. So if you're in another province, the rules might be a little different than what you were looking for here. Also, this is a recorded meeting if you're looking at it later on. The information may not be up to date if you're looking at a later date, but more or less it should be pretty much the same. Okay, so at the end of the video, we have some special offers for those of you who are like joining live, and also if you're watching a recording. There is an offer that we are doing, but that's we're gonna put it out at the very end. Okay, cool. So, the first topic is our business structures. So we have three different primarily business structures that we deal with federally and in Ontario, which is a sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. Um, so what are those things? So this there are like this is the most common that people can use for their business, especially a new business. So sole proprietorship is owned by a single person. It is the same as it is the same thing as yourself. There is no legal separation between yourself and your business. But it is also the most simple one. So a lot of people opt for this one. The only downside, not the only downside, but one of the downsides is that there is unlimited personal liability. So, for example, if you take out a business loan in the business's name, then if you can't pay it, you have to like you are personally liable for it. In comparison, if you are a corporation, normally, unless you sign a personal guarantee, the company, if they can't pay it, you're personally protected. If you own a home, if you own a car, if you have money in your bank account, nobody will come after you, right? What about a partnership? So partnerships are usually You see them more in like accounting firms, law firms, and such. They're usually two or more people. They're shared responsibility. They share the profits, losses. They also share in the decision making. But everyone is liable usually for all the partners. So if one of the partners make a bad decision, normally everyone else is also liable. Also, you need to have very good understanding between the partners if you want to do a partnership. As for the corporation, this is our favorite because there is a legal, it is a legal entity that is separate from the owners. Um, and there is a limitation of liability. What that means is that if you are um, if you are like taking a loan, for example, normally in Canada, what I've seen so far is that in terms of credit cards, the banks usually ask for a personal guarantee. And but other than that, if you have a like existing business that is like going on for a while, you can usually demand that you are not going to provide a personal guarantee for a business because your business has some history. But as a new business, banks will probably want some sort of guarantee for your corporation. But where as a new business, how you can take advantage of the legal separation is that in terms of loans and financing is a lot of government programs. They usually will give you the loan as a company and will not demand any personal liability guarantees. So that's the good thing about corporation as a new business. Um, the shareholders usually for small businesses is just one person, but there can be more shareholders and the directors. So the difference is that normally shareholders, like the directors, are responsible for the everyday ongoing whatever is happening with the business, right? So if you owe money to the CRA, they'll come after the directors. But you may have like 10 shareholders. Not everyone knows what's going on in the business. So you want more shareholders when um, like for example, if you are doing a company between friends, then you'll have more than one. Or maybe you have a family of say 5 people. You want everyone to have a stake in there, but only you are running the company, and then you'll have 5 shareholders and but one board of director and one person who is the director. Um, Separate legal entity, so it is separate. If someone wants to sue your company, they just sue the company usually, and you're personally protected as long as you do sensible things. Um, the only downside usually for new businesses is that it is a little bit complex compared to sole proprietorship to set up, and there is a cost to maintain a company compared to the other two. All right, so um, parallel versus provincial and business number and accounts. There's the two topics we'll cover on the steps to business registration phase. So, what are the two types of companies? Because 99% of you will probably go for companies. So there's no point. I didn't want to waste my time covering the other two. If you want to know more, you can always email me. So for corporations, you can set it up in two ways. One is a federal corporation, one is a provincial corporation. Um, the difference is a few, but I've just listed some of the main differences. Federal corporations can conduct their business across Canada. So if you have like multiple locations, if you have some sort of operation, say you have a warehouse in Canada and Ontario, another sales center in Montreal or something. So federal works for those companies. It is also a name protection at the federal level. You may just be doing business in Ontario right now, but you're thinking in the long term you want to grow outside of Ontario. It might be a good idea to just go federal. And Legally, you are subject to the federal regulations set out by the CBCA, and the shareholders can be from anywhere in Canada, and shares are freely transferable. So those are the benefits. Uh, I personally prefer federal over provincial. Provincial is only in terms of Ontario. You have to be registered with Ontario, and your protection of the name is only at the provincial level. Someone else can have the same name in BC, for example, with the same company, not the same company, but the same name of a company. Um, and your provincial company is subject to the Ontario Business Corporations Act, not the CBSA, and the shareholders usually have to be in the province. So if you're pretty much sure you don't want federal rules to apply to you, then you would go for provincial. I personally, as I said, prefer federal over provincial, but it's your choice. So now we're just gonna have a practical look at how to actually do the registration process. These are the two links. You can have a look, and you can also Google them. But I'm just going to, at this point, share my thing here. So once you go to those links, you come to this screen, registration of a corporation. So if you are going to register a federal corporation, you just click here, then incorporate a business. So it'll just take you step by step all the way. It'll cost you $200 to do it online. So I'm not gonna do it because I have to sign in right now. I don't want to sign in, but um, once you log in using it's the same account that you use for everything with the government. So I have mine linked to my bank account. So I'll just use my bank account to sign in and incorporate. If you choose a name, only thing that you need to know that might be a complication here is that if you want it to be specific name, say for example, mypen.com, or mypen incorporated, or your name incorporated, whatever it is, then you need to have a name search, and that takes a while. That will basically, and in an extra charge, it will look your name up and compare it with the other names that are already registered to make sure there is no conflict. But the other thing you can do is use a number company. That will basically assign a random number to your company, and that does the registration like pretty much the same time. So, for example, you can have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Canada Inc. for federal corporations. So that is, if you have a diverse set of business, and if you don't know what you're going to do, if you're thinking about different ideas, a numbered company might be a better idea than a name company, because say you're naming your company as A to Z Accounting Limited, and then you decide, okay, accounting is not working out, I want to do something else, and then you have to change the name of the company again because it doesn't make sense. As for the Ontario Corporation, um, it is with the Ontario, not the federal level, as you can see, is ontario.ca. And how you register is you can do it yourself here using these links. It is a little bit complicated compared to the federal ones. I would suggest this using one of the service providers. So Ontario has two contracted service providers, eCore and ESC. So you can use these guys to register your Ontario incorporation if you want to. They charge a fee, but it is a good service. I've used them in the past, and they're pretty good. Okay. All right, let's move on to our thing. All right. Okay, what about CRA? So you've done the registration, and now you're registered with the province or the federal government, but now you have to deal with the CRA. And how we do that is we're gonna go back to our thing again. Your business registration online page. This is the big link, but you can also just Google it. business registration online. Once you take that, it'll bring you to this link, Canada Taxes Business Number, and it'll show you a lot of eligibility, and you can read through them. And if you think you're eligible, you click on register. And if you click on register now, it'll tell you to go to a page and have you give your SIN number and stuff. And after the end of the process, you will be issued a business number, and you have to use that, and CRA will mail you some code, and you have to use that to sign in to your My CRA account, which is here, My CRA business. So if you go there, this is your My CRA account, and you would use the same login that you use for everything else with the government, and this will let you manage your business number, your corporation tax number, your HST number, your payroll number, all that. And we usually sign in with the representative thing, sign in. So we sign in differently as we're a firm, but as a business owner, you would be signing in using this method. And okay, what else? Okay, that's the business number here. Okay, cool. Right. All right, moving back to this. So we have our, come on. Okay, I clicked too much. All right, so legal and tax considerations. The first thing I would say, like, as long as you're operational, as soon as you're operational, get your liability insurance. I cannot stress this enough. Whatever industry you are in, as an accounting firm, we have to get our like errors and omissions and also general liability. Like getting sued is not a joke, and you don't want to be in that situation. Like even if whatever you're selling, someone might claim that damaged you, damaged the product or service, they harmed them in some way, whatever. And it is always a good idea to get a liability insurance. A lot of companies offer it. Just pick your option and go with them. I have with the broker that I deal with, and they deal with all my insurances. So other thing to consider is eventually when you're running a business, you will have issues with your clients or customers or other stakeholders. So it is a pretty good idea to have a solid contract with everyone that you deal with. And for new businesses, there is a website called lawdepot.ca, I believe, and that gives you some basic contract like templates that you can use. Um, so the reason you want a solid contract, not just make it up, is like when there is a conflict, you want something written down in paper. I'll give you an example. Like someone recently, we had a client, one of our very first bad clients. So they had to, like, they engaged us for an issue with the CRA, and once we finished dealing with it and we sent them the bill, they were like, "No way, we can't pay that," and they were like saying, "Okay, you didn't do anything. Okay, I will resolve your issue. This is our bill. You agreed to it. We have a contract." And then we had to send the contract to our payment processor because they kind of issued a chargeback to their credit card. And because we had a contract, they couldn't touch us, right? So it is important to have a contract because eventually, when you're running a business, there will be conflicts. Business taxes. So as a new business, first thing you need to worry about is your corporation tax. That is usually a 12-month period. It doesn't have to be a calendar year. It can be any 12 months. So for example, this is July. If you're starting your business in July, you can set your year end at, say, June of next year. Or maybe you want December. So what you can do is you can file your first filing in December. So what it'll do, it'll first year you'll have a shorter period, so it'll be July through December, and from next year it'll be January through December. Um, so that is your like corporation tax. Then there is the HST GST. So um, if you want to have a GST HST number, you have to use your My CRA account and register for it. And the reason you would want it is, especially if you're a growing company, you would want to register for GST HST. On the other hand, if you think that, say, for this year, I'm not planning to make more than $30,000, and I don't have a lot of expenses. So if you register for GST, if you don't have expenses, if your income is not much from the company, then you're just adding to your costs because you have to collect GST on every sale, right? So uh, in that case, maybe it's not a good idea until you reach the mandatory threshold. Um, but in most cases, small businesses have more expenses than income, and it is usually then a good idea to apply, because as soon as you apply, you can collect your HST. So, for example, I'll give my example. You have an accounting business, and I have HST registration. So I go down to, I'm in Mississauga, so say I drive down all the way to Niagara Falls to meet a client. So in the way I pay for gas, in the way I pay for something else. On Niagara Falls, I pay for the client's food. So whatever, everything in that, I can charge to my business, and also the HST that I paid, I can get it back because that's a business related HST charge, right? Okay, so next also is your payroll tax. That is only if you're hiring. If you're not hiring, there is no point opening a payroll account. It takes just a few minutes. So, but once you do, make sure you use a good payroll software to keep track of everything, because the two things that CRA audits the most in our experience is payroll and HST. So there's a lot of like non-compliance and fraud going on in that area. Um, then there is the issue of permits and licenses. Depending on your industry, you may need special permits. For example, to run an accounting firm, I needed permit from CPA. Some people do it without the permit, but depending on your industry, you need specific permits. So you have to check your industry and your provincial rules and the federal rules to see what kind of licenses you may need. And finally, the last thing to mention is to maintain a clean accounting books. That'll save you time and money during tax time. We have a lot of people coming to us with last minute changes and last minute filings. The whole year, nothing was done. So in those cases, you have to pay a big chunk of money just to bring everything up to date and then to file. And it is hard as a small business to come up with a big number during tax time. And when you're, under pressure from the CRA, they're coming in to audit you, and you don't want to be in that situation where, you have no choice but to pay big amounts to people to just clean up your mess. So it is important to have a clean record of everything from the start. Okay, which brings to our first special offer. Uh, so we have partnered with QuickBooks Online. We're a gold program pro advisor. So for the first two clients after who watches this video and let us know, we will give them a $4 a month a subscription of QuickBooks Online for 5 years. It is not available to the public, and this is just a special offer from QuickBooks Online. The regular price of QuickBooks Easy Start is $24 a month after the 6 months promo. So you'll be saving a lot of money. And QuickBooks Online is a program that once set up, most small businesses can do it themselves. You don't need an accountant. You just need someone to, come back and file the stuff. Most of you, if you have a more complicated and growing business, then you'll need someone to do it for you. Second one, if you're doing your bookkeeping with us, you get a free subscription. We pay for a subscription, and our package starts from say $50 a month. Cool. All right. So how do you finance a new business? Okay, that is the most requested topic. One of the most requested topic. So we do help with financing applications. We are not a bank, but we do help new businesses. So the few key points that financing companies, banks, or other third-party lenders they look at are your personal credit score and your last 2 years of income. Those are the two things they will look for. If you have assets, that's good. If not, then it's also okay. Um, the reason they look at you personally because you're a new business, so they don't know anything about the business, so they will want you to personally guarantee most of the loans except for some government programs. So I have linked a few here that I'm going to show you in a bit in the screen for the financing things. So this is at first I wanted to show you the QBO packages. So normally, if you go to the QBO website, this is the package that they'll show you. This is the 6 months promo, the 6, 12, 18, 35. And after the promo ends after 6 months, you get 24, 48, 72, 140. They're going to charge it to you. If you go with us, we will just give you we'll pay for it if you go do our bookkeeping with us. If not, if you just want the $4 promo for 5 years, we'll do it for you. That's this package. But it's only for the first two businesses. Okay, moving on to grants and financing. For the government programs, you have this page, Canada.ca Services Business Grants. So all of the things regarding the government is here. Okay, so you can click here, government financing programs, and it'll ask you a few questions. I'm looking for whatever. So I will say fund loans and capital investment, and up to 250. My main goal is start or buy business, grow and expand my business. We are in Ontario. The size of the business of what? Just choose some things. Let's say retail and wholesale. We have one employee, and the revenue is let's say we're very new. We don't have anything. Okay. Incorporated, for profit, owned by Canadians. You can choose whatever fits you. Let's say youth, black, racialized, woman, language minorities. Show me accepting clients, and once you click that, you're gonna get a list of loans and capital investment programs. So we have BDC, Featurepreneur, Woman Entrepreneur. You click more, you're gonna get all that. So you have to take some time to go through all of them. A lot of them, I found that they're not really good for new businesses. For example, BDC rarely gives loan to new businesses. They say it, but they never give it. It's funny. I don't know why. Um, all of my new business clients that applied for BDC never got it. They just say you're too risky. So I don't know why they're advertising it. But um, for a brand new business, one of the best things you can get is the Featurepreneur program. I don't, I'm not partnered with them or anything, but it is a good program. And they give you financing plus mentorship. It is if you're working full time, you can get the side hustle. The side hustle is like 15,000 in loan, and then mentorship. And if you want to do full time, there is also full time that is 60K. We do help with the business file in a way that there's a lot of requirements in terms of documentation. You need business plans, financial plans, all that. And in those cases, we will help you if you need help, because business owners are usually not good at preparing financial plans and stuff. So we do help with that. Just shoot us an email and we'll be happy to help. Government programs right now, the government program that's running is that's very popular is actually the small business loan. Where is it? Not this one. Sorry. Let me go back. This one. So this guy here, this is issued by banks, but they have like guidelines from the government. It is guaranteed. I believe like 70-80% is guaranteed by the government. So the bank still takes personal guarantee from you, depending on the bank, but it is only up to a certain point. It's different for each bank. So between 20 to 25%, they will take a personal guarantee, and the rest is not guaranteed. So if you can qualify under this program, it gives you a lot of money, but the issue is you need a solid plan, and usually you also need to put down a certain amount from your personal funds. So say if you want say $500,000 in loans, you probably need like at least 100K or 150K from your personal funds to show as your own contribution. So, but if you have that kind of money and if you are looking for a serious financing, this is something to consider. It is a good program for new businesses because it's government guaranteed. You won't get any better deal than that right now, at least. That brings us to our final offer. We do provide business registration, bookkeeping, tax filing, financial support, and virtual CFO services. If you want to know more, you can always give us an email and we will book a call to discuss more about your particular business needs. If you're watching this video, if you mention this during our call, we will give you a 20% off all your invoices, which can be thousands of dollars in savings. So I'm going to keep it short and thank you for watching. Our email is succeed@moyibkhan.com and this is our website. I hope you have a great weekend and thank you.